What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a video, and I just want to talk about today about the PS5 Pro. What I'm gonna think about it. Honestly, I don't really think. I don't really think.
All right, the time's come.
I
Let's
really
get
don't
going.
think a PS5 Pro was really necessary. But meh, whatever. At this point, let Sony do whatever the heck they want. At this point, and I'm being for real here. I mean, I get it. Sony's been scrambling for cash like pretty frequently, and you know, it's all right. I don't really care. You know that a PS5 Pro is coming out, but it's just like, wow, you gotta be joking with me, because you know I have the regular PS5, right? And it's not a bad system by any means. In fact, the SSD saves this thing from being generally garbage. The thing is, the specs on PS5 aren't even that good. If people say the equivalent of the PS5 is just 2070, which not a bad GPU by the way. It's a pretty good GPU. And the 2070s aren't even that old, believe it or not. I think they came out like 2017 or 18. So it's not even that old for us of a graphics card to even worry about. I heard the CPU isn't really a joke either. It's actually pretty good as well. So it's not like it's underpowered per se. Though apparently it does still want more power, which I mean is pretty much makes sense. I mean most of them do, but
Very good shooting.
I mean to be fair, Nintendo's been underpowering their crap for years, and devs seem to make games for Switch all the time, even though they're you know Switches was already like 3 years old. The Switch's architecture was already pretty ancient by then, so I don't even know why even bother with this crap anymore, which is I mean I get why Sony wants to make a pro console, but at the same time, I don't see the point at all. And if most people want a pro system or a pro of anything, they might as well just build their own computer. And I know building a PC is super expensive. In fact, even mid-range builds would cost you like $1,000 a minimum. So it's not even like it's a cheap thing to do. It's just that I feel like I mean, if you're gonna be upgrading to a PS5 Pro, which it's kind of a dumb decision anyway for most people, I don't see very many people are gonna buy a Pro, in my opinion, unless they make it significantly cheaper. Because the thing with PS5 is generations that it already wasn't even the cheap console to begin with. It was 500 at launch, I believe, for the disc one and 400 for the digital one. But I mean, I get people are moving on from discs and all that, you know, because discs are annoying. Discs are, you know,
All right, the
kind
time's
of
come.
a dated technology too, because
Let's
it's optical media, not really like, you know, anything, not really anything that freaking new. It's pretty old tech. It's been around since the 80s. You know, it's just changed a lot throughout time. We got these modern 4K Blu-rays and stuff, but games still don't load off the disc anymore because that would be slow. And also, most devices don't even have the RAM for it either. Unless you got like an indie game or something, you can't really do much of anything. And what really sucks, if there would be a PS5 Pro, is that already half your user base is still on PS4, believe it or not. And I think one way the console generation could move at this point is just to end support on PS4 and Xbox One completely. I don't think anyone would miss that at all. I think people generally are just tired of PS4 and Xbox One because they're so old now, and people have been using them for like 10 years. Some people have probably already replaced the thermal paste on their consoles, which is crazy because that's how old those systems are. And I had PS4, and the crazy thing too is that the Pro wasn't really a necessity either. So most people are probably just gonna have the regular PS5, like probably like me, till the rest of time. Like I think most people just won't upgrade at all because upgrades probably won't even be that significant
Brains out. Nice.
unless the thing could somehow do 60 FPS with ray tracing, which even like modern GPUs can't really do without like DLSS and stuff like that. With like Nvidia's 4080 and 4090 GPUs, some games like you can't even do 4K ray tracing like that on high settings. Well, maybe like super high settings. I'm not really sure, but you can't really like not even modern PCs can really ray trace at 60 FPS. And I know the 4090s are pretty good for that too, but I doubt you get FPS above 60.
Something's wrong with you.
Maybe like
Don't let him do that.
maybe like 80 FPS if you're lucky if you got your settings tuned right. But the DLSS technology is actually really important, and I don't know, man. It's just kind of like
Very
why
good.
is Sony even bothering at this point? Because I mean their console's already heavily expensive anyways. Like imagine how much a pro system would cost, especially with the current price of the PS5 right now. Which I mean you're finding them cheaper and cheaper every day, which is not a bad thing, but it's just like kind of confusing because the price point is going to be priced at too. Because if you're gonna keep them at $500, which by the way is just a bad price in general, especially for the build quality you get. Sony's build quality I think fell off pretty bad in the PS5 era. PS4s were built pretty well. They were small and compact, which was also a really big benefit as well. They weren't like really freaking huge like PS5 is. Like the PS5 Slim exists, but to be fair, it's not even that drastic of a change at all. In fact, I think they kept the same motherboard too as just the regular PS5, same inefficiencies and whatnot. So they didn't really change nothing about it either. And apparently, the PS5 Pro is happening because apparently it got leaked, or some of its specifications got leaked, or maybe they're just rumors. But who knows? PS5 Pro actually seems pretty likely at this point. Not to say that I'm disappointed in Sony because I don't really care that much. This company, like Sony, has made pretty dumb decisions about their PlayStation crap before. I mean, they made that crappy PlayStation Portal, which is just a glorified tablet with remote play on it, and it took them pretty long to add support for hotspots for like even restaurant Wi-Fi spots. It took them that long to add that crap in, which is just
Don't let him
hilarious to
down.
me. But it's goes to show you how scummy Sony is now. They became sort of money hungry, and I mean, most companies are, but
Got his head.
I mean, to be fair, PlayStation is like the only thing making Sony money right now. If it wasn't for that, I don't think they would be making nearly as much money anymore. Because they used to make money off laptops, DVD players, cassette tape players like the Walkman, and also speakers and a bunch of other products. To be honest, mostly electronics though. But yeah, CD players and all that crap. But that crap probably doesn't even make money anymore. One thing that's making them money right now is probably PlayStation and their dual din head units for cars. And basically, I think those are like the real only two things making Sony money right now. Nah, money right now. And I guess music and movies as well, because they got those divisions and all that crap. It's not entirely the same company, but you get what I mean. Basically, Sony's not really making much of any money. Like, I don't even think their smartphones are that successful either, because I don't see that many people with Sony phones at all. So it just goes to show you that, yeah, it's kind of like, oh wow, that was horrible. Everyone's just better than me. Point is if Sony were ever to make PS5 Pro, I'm probably never gonna get it, and it's probably gonna be at some outrageous price, just like the regular PS5 was like the entire generation, which is $500 for the disc one and $400 for the digital one. What's funny too is so you made a PS5 Slim, right?
People
Without
with
disc drive and you know, you could just add that later. It's probably more expensive just to add the disk drive on. And it's just dumb. It's just dumb business decisions, I'm guessing. I don't even know at this point. It's just that, you know, the more decisions Sony makes and stuff, the dumber it seems. And it's like, you know what? It's okay. Whatever. It's fine. Apparently, PS5s already get like so many hardware issues anyway, and are apparently hard to repair, which I've seen. I've seen a lot of tech tips take apart the no, not take place, take apart the Slim, right? And that thing looked like it was incredibly hard to take apart. They just added like freaking globs of like thermo freaking material everywhere, like in very specific places for the cooling to actually work. And the liquid metal too. That's also a thing that's probably incredibly hard to replace, even on standard PS5s, like the model I use, which is you know pretty old hardware at this point. Honestly, PS5 has been in its 4 years, and it feels like no games have come out for it. And I know GTA 6 might change that, but what's crazy about I don't think I can even trust Rockstar or really any game manufacturer, but I guess I really just wanted to showcase my thoughts on a PS5 Pro because I just think it's a pretty dumb idea. But I mean, if it has the same power as a 3090, which hopefully it does, if it doesn't, then I don't even know why you even bother with a Pro. And I know a 3090 is a pretty big jump from a 2070 Ti, I think. I don't know if it's a Ti card, it don't even matter. TIs are barely even that significant of an upgrade. But if it's not as powerful as, you know, a bud of that card, that expensive that card, then I don't see why anyone would buy it. I know specs aren't always everything. Everyone on console spear is always like, you know, they're not always everything and stuff like that. You know, I get it. I get it. Stuff like that. Always. But like, realize that Sony and Microsoft are completely different from Nintendo. Nintendo actually like underpowers their crowd and tries to make this crowd a challenge. Sony and Microsoft usually don't. So, and even then, Microsoft is apparently abandoning their Xbox consoles with some like Amazon Fire Stick bundle that you might have already seen that costs like $60 or 70. It's probably back to full price now. Who knows? But yeah, Xbox has already been doing tough. Even in the eighth gen of consoles, they're already in a really rough spot, and that's mainly because they had no games and their names are just ridiculous. And to be fair, Sony don't know how to name devices that aren't PlayStations, but you know, yeah. It's just all over the place in the industry right now, and it's just sad to see that most people are playing games that are really old at this point. Um, you know, even games like the one I'm playing right here, Roblox, is like a 10-year-old game. Might be even older than that at this point. I think the beta came out like 2006 or something, so it's like 18 years, like 18-year-old game, bro. Like, people play it all the time. Sure, it's advanced throughout time and stuff, but at its core, Roblox is still the same old game it's always been, except with like way more issues and way more problems and all that other crap. Community-wise, it really is just community-wise. Um, games overall just full as crap. GTA 5, another 10-year-old game. What I'm trying to get at here is that I'm just tired of playing the same old crap, and I get a lot of people are saying, you know, new shit comes out, right? Like, I guess Black Ops 6 is coming out, but if we're gonna be real and honest with ourselves, this game's just gonna turn out like just another. I don't know. It's just gonna turn out like just another Call of Duty, and all CODs are the same. They're not even different. I mean, what's the difference between Modern Warfare 3 and you know Black Ops 6? I know Black Ops 6 has this weird movement crap and all this other stuff that tries to make it innovative, but really now Call of Duty is about as advanced as this game I'm playing right here, and I mean, this game is more like a CS2 ripoff, not really not really a COD ripoff, but you get what I mean. Like I mean, same mechanics sort of. Like you're just shooting people in a team deathmatch type gameplay style, so it's not like anything unique. Why am I only getting snipers? Yeah, whatever. Point is that the industry really does need to evolve with the times. And I think indie devs are the only devs that really care anymore. I've heard stories from AAA devs too, and ex AAA devs too, ex devs for like Rockstar and stuff on comment sections on YouTube videos talking about how GTA 5 is milked to death and stuff. Now, all these video essays technically don't mean anything to AAA devs, and that's really the thing that led me to this, making this video as well, because most companies don't care. A lot of them don't. They don't care about preservation or even caring about people who play their games, which is just crazy to me. I mean, I feel like even back then, Blizzard used to care a little bit more. Rockstar used to, and a bunch of other companies. That's why they would like do all this crap. But I mean, I guess this video will just end up in the pile of already like millions of videos talking about the modern state of gaming and how everything is. But I mean, to be fair, I was only here talking about the PS5 Pro, which I just think is ridiculous. I mean, especially if it's at the 800 price tag, don't get it unless you don't have a PS5 already. And as I said, I just think Sony should just stop support for PS4, and Microsoft should probably also just end Xbox One support as well because, I mean, at this point, who cares about those systems? They're so old. I mean, I don't think anyone would hate to see them go away. I don't like not even people with Xbox 360 and PS3 were even that angry when they get lost support because they obviously were going to anyway. They were so underpowered and so, you know, old at that point. Like even PS4 architecture was arguably one of the weakest of the generation as well. They made games for that platform like for like 10 years. It's crazy to believe. But yeah, they made games for that system for freaking years. I think there still continues to be, and last gen really is kind of pulling gaming behind as well. And I guess people on the PC sphere have already been arguing that consoles have been basically making gaming push back, like make gaming have to work on weaker hardware, which I guess makes sense. But then again, there's a bunch of users who use mid-range PCs that are really average. So there are millions of setups from like Steam and all that stuff. I've seen online tech tips video on the most average basic setup in the world, and most rigs people have aren't the worst rigs in the world. At the same time, I think you gotta realize too is that most devs gotta make ports to like PC that work on everything. That's clearly not happening today. Modern PC ports are garbage, which is sad, but yeah. But I want to go in depth with that more in a different video. I just want to talk about PS5 Pro and how dumb I think the idea is. And what I've honestly been waiting for is a new DualSense, but that actually has a battery that lasts long because DualSense I think only lasts 3 hours, which is pretty funny. But yeah, a lot of people complain about the DualSense and say it doesn't feel as good as the PS4 controller, or it's just not. And I use the DualSense a lot. I like it. I like it a lot. I think the DualSense is a great design. A lot of people say it looks like an Xbox controller and whatnot. Sony kind of lost its identity, but not really. Thing is, my DualShock 4 already has a head drift, and I don't know how old it is. I don't think it's that old, but my PS4 stick, my stock PS4 controller is a black controller, right? Already has a bunch of drift. It's crazy how PlayStation controllers are already getting drift, and PS4 controllers never got drift. I mean, no, PS2 and 3 controllers never really had drift, which is wild to me, but yeah. Say what you will, maybe hardware is made worse nowadays, who knows? But it really is a issue with modern gaming in general, just faulty hardware, faulty everything, I think, at this point, which is pretty sad. devs don't care. No matter what I say, no matter what anyone says, which is really a shame. And I guess that's really it for this video. I think PS5 Pro is dumb. Unless it comes with like a new controller or something that has even more convincing haptic feedback or, you know, triggers that are good or even better. I really don't see the point. And I guess that's really is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Go ahead. I would like to see this discussion go on in the comments as well. See y'all's thoughts on the PS5 Pro or like the state of modern gaming in general as well. And go ahead and talk about GTA 6 and Rock and GTA Plus and hope that crap doesn't really rot the game at all. So in the meantime, while we're strapped and hopefully safe and sound, I guess we'll just, deal with it at this point. There's so much good anyway, so I guess that's it. Bye.